Each year, hundreds of athletes call Sportsplex West home as they work to separate themselves from the competition through different programs geared to develop athletes to become the best that they can be. Sportsman Media will be starting a new video series to highlight all that is going on at Sportsplex. This series will do a deep dive into the baseball, basketball, softball, soccer, volleyball, and football programs, as well as the strength and recovery programs offered. Welcome to PlexCast. Thanks for joining us for another week of PlexCast. This week, we'll be following the Midwest ProCase put on by Prep Baseball. And we got a lot of the top talent in the Midwest here to perform in front of the scouts.
Adam Keiko here at the ProCase, sponsored by PBR. Super excited to put up some numbers with the Sticks guys. Should be a blast.
What's up, guys? I'm excited to perform today at this showcase with all the Sticks boys. We're going to have some fun. We're going to ball out. That's all we do.
It's time meeting. I'm here at the ProCase here, sponsored by PBR. I'm looking forward to it. We're ready to have a good time.
Yeah, I'm Carson Route. Excited to get in front of the scouts and put up some numbers. Go Sticks.
I'm excited to go into the ProCase and kind of get an early feel and be in front of the scouts a year early and going into next year's draft.
My name's Carter Geffrey, and I'm pumped to perform in front of the scouts.
My name's Cole Moore. I'm really excited to be attending the All-State ProCase and showcase my talents along with some other great players attending from other states.
Coming out of D3, I'm excited to come out here and try to get my name in front of some scouts and get some attention.
Excited for the ProCase, just another opportunity to get in front of scouts before the year starts.
Today I'll be joined by Rob Allison, who is the director of Prep Baseball for several Midwestern states, including Iowa. Can you give a little background on yourself?
Yeah. The infamous story or the famous story? You want to go with the little blend of each?
Blend of each.
Okay. Yeah. Grew up in Spencer, Iowa. Played college baseball. Had a little cup of coffee in the independent leagues after college. Immediately went into coaching. Was at Briarcliff University in Sioux City for 2 years. Then went to Muscatine Community College. Was there for 7 years. And then the final 8 years, I was actually the recruiting coordinator at Iowa Western and Council Bluffs. Yeah, so that's kind of my background baseball-wise. Started working for PBR in the summer of 2014. Man, that starts to age me really quick when you think 2014 to 24. But we started out in 14. I launched Iowa and Minnesota in our network. And I think a year later, we ended up launching Nebraska. And then over the years, we folded North and South Dakota into my region. And there's definitely a fine line between bravery and stupidity, right?
Yeah, just a little busy, I'm sure.
Yeah. But I'm really proud of my Marriott Rewards points.
Oh, yeah. Sure, a lot of travel going on there. Can you kind of talk about the creation of this specific event and why was it a need?
Absolutely. I know previously, back in the past, the Sticks used to do a little bit of a scout day type thing in the spring. There's a few other entities in the Midwest. But I just thought by bringing Prep Baseball to the table, being able to bring in a few more bells and whistles, the connections that we have with players and families, I just thought we could have a really good chance to expand on what other entities were doing previously and make it a really impactful night. So what we do is we keep it really intimate, really small, probably bring in 40 guys at the most. We circle out. I think tonight we'll have guys from 5 or 6 different states that are going to perform. And really, it's just a consolidation of effort. Midwest scouts for any organization are typically going to have like a 5 or 6 state radius that they need to cover. And that's a lot of ground and that's a lot of players. And you can't get everywhere at one time. It's hard to see everybody. So what I thought, in the creation of the event, I just wanted to bring in really good, interesting guys that I know that they're going to be on scouts follow lists, that they're guys that scouts probably need to see, but hopefully we can put them in front of these guys tonight and they become guys that they want and have to seed as we go through the spring and into the early summer.
Awesome. What do you hope this will do for the athletes participating?
The worst case scenario for me is They create name recognition for themselves in the scouting community. They create that kind of historical blip on the radar to where, 90% of these guys are going to end up in college. It's really hard to get drafted out of high school, and they're going to end up in college. But what I hope for is, at the bare minimum, is 2 or 3 years down the road, now that they're 20, 21-year-old men compared to 18-year-old kids, they've put on that 25 pounds. They've really started to develop. They've improved their skills. But I think that'll be impressive to scouts, because when they see them 3 years from now, they're going to be like, hey, I remember seeing that kid, and he definitely had good qualities. I liked him. He wasn't ready to get drafted then, but man, he sure has made a lot of improvements. And so I think that really matters when it comes down to evaluating guys.
What about on the scout side of things?
Obviously trying to consolidate their efforts. I want, like I said, one-stop shopping, them to be able to come in and see a really good, strong group of guys, one place, one time. I think it definitely helps them. I think if they haven't seen the player previously, it puts them on their radar. I also know, like anything in life, there's a lot of addition and deletion, and that's not a negative. Like if players tonight get deleted, that's just simply that they're not ready to get drafted right now. But from a scout's perspective, you really have to work really hard to try to cover all your bases and see as many guys as you can. So I think by creating something like this, I really help them out. I know they're really appreciative of it. This has always been a strong event, so I'm excited about tonight.
Yeah, it's a great event for scouts and the players. Is there any big success stories you've seen from previous years?
The easy one is, it's like I think we put out an article either yesterday or today. We always kind of have the record holders of the event, who threw the hardest, who ran the fastest. Try to do a few things with that. But it was 2 or 3 years ago, we had Nate Sneed here from Milwaukee. And it's kind of a whirlwind for Nate. He came to the event. He was a senior. He was committed to Iowa Western Community College. They ended up having a coaching change at the end of the year. He ended up changing his decision. He went to Wichita State, and he got on the mound this weekend and is now at the University of Tennessee. But people kind of knew who he was. They'd seen him at different times. Definitely an interesting prospect. In the upper 80s, lower 90s velocity, but really long and athletic and had those attributes. But he showed up at this event, and I think the first pitch out of his hand was 97. And his overall is a really impressive performance. He ran a 6.6. I think he's tied for the event record. I think he threw 101 from the outfield. Big exit velos, 97 consistently on the mound. And it's just really interesting how he kind of went from a draft suspect to maybe legitimizing himself as a draft prospect. And I think he really forced a lot of organizations to flock into Milwaukee through the spring to check him out and follow him and kind of see where he was at every week.
Yeah, it's a testament to why these events are so needed, just to get these under-the-radar guys, or not necessarily under the radar, but guys that may not be seen at the level that they should be getting seen at.
Yeah, and I think the differentiating factor is I think you have this huge, not huge, but you have this expansive group of draft suspects. Guys that throw hard, guys that run fast, the guys that have certain athletic traits. But you're kind of fighting your way out of that draft suspect to being a legitimized draft prospect, to where you're going to have a chance to go in a signable round and probably have a legitimate chance of starting a professional baseball career. But the cool thing about Nate was he hit the mound this weekend for Tennessee pretty consistently, up to 100 miles an hour.
Glad I wasn't the batter.
Yeah. It's funny how the baseball landscape has changed. Years back, even 10 years, 90 was kind of once you hit 90, it's like the seas parted and the red carpet rolled out and all these great things started to happen. But, we really kind of are in this crazy arms race now, to where velo keeps climbing. scientific, methods and working with guys and development continues to grow and expand, and just velocity is going through the roof. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. It seems like everybody's throwing harder and harder every single year.
For sure.
What are your expectations for this year's? I
just want the guys, there's always going to be nerves, no matter how many events you've been to, all the people you've been in front of. I do think kids in today's day and age, they probably are a little spoiled. They get to do a lot more things and see a lot more things at an earlier age than maybe what was in the past. But there's still going to be nerves. There's going to be 12 to 15 major league organizations standing here, and they're kind of going to be watching these kids every move as far as how they interact with the other kids in the event, how they carry themselves, how they interact with me, how they follow direction, on top of, okay, how fast did he run? Okay, how hard did he throw? Like all that type of stuff. I try to keep it really loose at this event. I'm not too much of a bulldog at any of my events, but I'm very organized and getting from A to B to C and getting stuff accomplished. And, so I'm a little ultra focused at a normal event. Not that I won't be focused here, but I try to make it a little easier, a little lighter. I try not to put pressure on them. I just want them to relax, do their thing, and show people what they can do. And every guy that's going to be here tonight, they're here for a reason.
They can all play. It's just another opportunity for them to get looks.
Absolutely. Yep.
So the state of Iowa has been trending. It seems like there's more and more D1 guys coming out of the state every single year. What do you think the reason for this is?
I think the development helps. I definitely think kids are developing at a little quicker rate. And I mean, that's a testament to like what they do here at Sportsplex and the Iowa Sticks and other various club teams and training organizations. I'm not the end all be all. I know that. Like I constantly tell families, I tell players, like I'm not the one who gets them to Division I or Division III or II or JUCO or NAIA or whatever it may be. Like they're going to get themselves where they deserve to go to with their attitude and actions and ability and all those things. You got to be on the right stage. You got to be on the right platform. You got to have the right eyes on you. And a lot of times it boils down to beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Like a bunch of major league organizations could see a guy and not like him. But really all it takes is that one organization.
Yeah.
And that's the same way with colleges. Like maybe the guy's not a good fit at Iowa, or maybe he's not a good fit at Minnesota, but that doesn't mean there aren't other really good options for him. And so I just think we do and try to do a really good job of putting a really positive spotlight, a realistic spotlight on players, on kind of where they're at and where they stand in the big scheme of things.
Yeah, I agree. I've seen all the tournaments you guys do, all the different numbers you're able to put out with these kids, and I think that helps a lot with this growth in the more D1 kids or all levels advancing and playing at the next level. Can you talk about the rebrand to Prep Baseball?
The rebrand with Prep Baseball. Other than it's going to really ding my checkbook when I have to outfit myself and all my guys into new gear, and at least we're fortunate that we're with Mizuno, so I don't need to buy shoes and some of that other stuff. But I think it's exciting. I mean, it shows the growth in what Prep Baseball is trying to do. The transition from Prep Baseball Report to Prep Baseball. I think it shows just Prep Baseball, I think, is more abstract, and I think we're in some ways an abstract company. Like, we're involved in tournaments, we're involved in showcases, we're involved in going out and scouting games, high school rankings, player rankings, scouting reports. I mean, we're a pretty diverse company in everything that we do every day. And we've had, PBR, the company is over 20 years old. We've ride or die with this logo all 20 years, but we continue to grow as a company, and I think we can continue to get better. And sometimes that's hard when you get bigger, to continue being consistent and being better. But I think we're doing a good job with that. And so for me, I think it kind of reinvigorates some things. You get the fresh look, You get the fresh name, the fresh logo, the fresh gear, and just keep on plowing ahead.
That's a lot of great information about prep baseball. Thanks, Rob, for your time today. And
Absolutely.
I'm excited to see how this pro case goes down today.
It should be fun. Thanks for having me.
Eric Wardekemper out of Omaha, Nebraska, and I'm with the Miami Marlins. Check out the 24 class, and we got 25, so it's always nice getting eyes on the next year's guys, but obviously we're focused on this year's guys. But overall, getting a compass of what's around, because not every kid's invited to every event, and some kids go unseen, so this is an excellent opportunity for those kids in North Dakota, Minnesota, Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri to get here and get us scouts more eyes on them. Rob, Allison, PBR, they always do an excellent job getting the kids here. I said, we got athletes, you got strong arms, you got kids that can pitch, you got kids with power, speed, so it's always a nice event.
PlexCast is brought to you by Sportsplex West, Sportsman Media, and Sportsman Solutions.